All right, so let's just dive in. So first of all, I want to understand, have you guys tried journaling or do you practice journaling? What's the take? What's the who's where? So that, yeah, just getting a sense of where we are.
I've done it on and off since childhood, actually. I used to do it more when I was little than now. Now it's only like when I don't know and I cannot, like, there's too much going on and I just need to calm down, then, which is like once in many, many months.
Yeah, nice.
I never did it. But,
Never. Okay,
yep. Yeah.
cool.
I too back in days, not lately.
Okay, nice. Cool. Priyanka, Nicole, do you guys try journaling? Have you ever tried it before?
I've done it all my life, on and off. So sometimes I'm very prolific, and sometimes the journal sits on my nightstand for months, but I've done it ever since I was maybe 11.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, same here. I got into it when I was a kid. I think I've mentioned this before. So I met a guru, so to say, when I was young, and he told me to write Ram. He said that Ram is your word, and you have to write it 108 times. And my dad used to have like, diaries and journals printed every year for business distribution. And he used to give us one new journal every time he used to get it printed. And I used to take that journal, write Ram, Ram. But after I'm done writing Ram, what do I do? And slowly I started making that connection with Ram, and I used to start telling, things that are not going well, or I'm agitated about, or I need help, and that's when that dialogue started. But for manifestation, actually started like 10 years or so back when I again got back into journaling. I stopped journaling for a while, and I again got back into journaling around 2012. Started writing down my goals. I actually saw Tony Robbins' video where he asked to rate yourself on your life scale, different segments, each how much would you rate yourself and where do you want to be. And I found that so powerful. Today, when I look back into my past journals, I have manifested lots of things. Many of the things have been checked off, and every year I create new goals for my next year. Like what do I want to do next year? So I would highly, highly recommend, even for goal setting, for mental clarity, journaling is so powerful. It basically gives your brain a direction. Okay, this is what I want, and it gives your brain that clarity, and it shows your brain automatically shows you answers towards what you're trying to manifest. So I highly recommend. Cool. Yeah. So why do I love journaling? For me, it's also an outlet to express and process emotions. Um, yeah, and putting thoughts and emotions into words can help create distance from intense feeling. Sometimes when something is going around in our lives, we are so much in our head, and we're cooking up those stories 10,000 times. This happened, that happened, blah, 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 blah. And what happens is when you write it down, you can actually see the situation as it is. You can see how other people, like, when we are thinking about it, we sometimes exaggerate other people's perspectives, like they did this because of this and blah, blah, blah. But when you actually start to write down, you can see things for as it is, and you start to question. That's what I do a lot. When my first thing to do is when I'm not feeling good inside is to journal, write down what am I feeling, everything on the paper, who made me feel what are my thoughts and beliefs around that situation. Yeah. um yeah, so clarity to differentiate between truths and perception, honest self-reflection and self-awareness. One thing is that when I journal, I am 100% honest with my journal about my feelings. If I hate somebody, I'll write it down. It's nothing, nowhere to prove me to anybody, like, I'm good or I can't say this or somebody will read this. This is my one-on-one time with my own self, and I'm brutally honest with myself, with God. It's like, yeah, God knows everything that I'm holding inside, and I'll just express it out. It also gives me an understanding about my own values and beliefs. These are the things that I'm holding in my, is it actually a reality or is it I'm creating it in my mindset? and helps me explore different perspectives. Yeah, I'll kind of go over into it more in later slides also. But yeah, I'll write down everything, different perspectives. If it's something at work, somebody made me feel something, or I'm overwhelmed with something, what's going on? I'll try to break that situation down as much as I can. And there's something very powerful happens is that once you put all that stuff onto the paper, your mind is so much free. I feel lighter after doing this. So mental offload, and then I can think clearly. Yeah. So effective problem solving by analyzing situations and finding solutions. Yeah. So if I'm stuck in some situation, or there are things, I will, make pros and cons. Like, why do I want to do this? Why, what, this and that, and I'll break it down. And this is something that I've taught my kids. And like my daughter was doing her college applications recently, and I was telling her, like, write down everything that you want. Why is this better? Why is that better? And then it's easier to make choices. So yeah, goal setting and staying committed is another thing. Like I mentioned, every year I set goals for that year, long term, short term, and for me personally, journaling has been just magical. This is one thing that I've taught my kids. My older one does it ferociously, and she always tells me, like, she thinks that she is a master manifester, and I've seen her. She manifests things for herself. If she's not getting any concert tickets, she said, no, I know I'll get it. But yeah, so I highly recommend that you practice it, teach it to your kids. Yeah. Cool. So first of all, how many of us think that can you manifest? How many of you can think that you can manifest easily, not easily? Where are we with manifestation? Go ahead, Charu.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, yes, I do think that we can manifest. And you have taught me in the last 1.5 years, and I do think, or maybe more than 1.5 years, but yeah, I do think you can manifest good and bad, both depending upon what you throw out in the universe.
Go ahead, Rachna.
Yeah, same, I agree. Like, since I started reading about this, I'm realizing that maybe this is what is happening because I manifested it, whether it's good or bad. So, same thing, realizing it since the past few months or a year because of you, and seeing it for true, for real.
Yeah. Is there anybody who thinks that they cannot manifest? No, right?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
So I think it works, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt that it works. I mean, and you always see about the negative too. But what I think, there are certain things which probably have blockage, or you're doing, who knows, maybe you intend and it doesn't, I know it's hard to explain now. So some things probably are blocked in certain way that's very hard to manifest intentionally.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, also I think the mindset also, it depends on what mindset we are, then only there's certain times where we can manifest.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have the same opinion that it works, but not the 100% time. Right.
Yeah. So thing about manifestation is, like, we all manifest. It can be conscious manifestation or unconsciously you're manifesting. So either you're aware of it and you set goals and then you try to manifest it, or so and some things can take longer and some things happen quicker. So, and a lot has to do with our beliefs internally, subconsciously, what actually beliefs we hold. And there are times when we consciously want to manifest something, but subconsciously we're actually blocking it because that's not because internally we are like, yeah, there might be fears around it or something that we truly did not want it to manifest. So we'll go into that. Charu, you have a question? Your hand is raised, or you have to say something.
No, it was earlier to say about the manifestation thing, but I also, on the same thing that just came to my mind, is even if you want something and you're just constantly overthinking it, that itself is a blockage, according to, like, when you listen to it. So if you want to have something and you just keep on perseverating over it, then that itself is a blockage to getting some,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It is like you're creating resistance to your manifestation
Correct.
if you're desperate about it, because then you are thinking, actually subconsciously you're thinking that I'll not get it, and that's why you're so desperate. I want it. One thing is that, and also it is things happen in the right time. So there's a fine balance between trusting the universe, it will happen, and still staying positive about it. So yeah. So let's go into what is manifestation. Does anybody has any inputs on what actually is manifestation, or what do you think about what is manifestation? Go ahead, Rachna.
Oh, I thought Charu had her hand up. Oh, I was not on what is manifestation, but something that you said is something I've been wondering for a while, on the balance between manifestation and trusting the universe. I don't know, like, what is the right balance? When is it like whatever happens is for my good, so like just forget about things and leave it to the universe, versus no, this is what I want and this is what I try to manifest and like feel it and think it. So I've not been able to come to terms with how does it work, or how do both work together?
Yeah, it's so it's specific to the topic that you're thinking about, and we can go offline onto like that specific topic, which topic. But it does happen is, first you set an intention, and then you define it to the universe, how exactly you want. What do you want? Do you even know what you want? We have vague ideas like, yeah, I want to be rich. What does rich means to you? How much rich? What are the terms for that richness? I want, peace of mind, family, everything along with it. If suddenly you become rich, so there's a lot to it. So providing clarity and setting up smaller goals towards that bigger goals is also what has worked for me. If I want to make, say, 200,000, and then I'll say, okay, first let me make 100,000, then let me make 120, 150, and then I'll incrementally go there, because that's a doable goal for my mind. And having that balance is like, so when you are on the right trajectory, you will just take inspired action towards that path, rather than trying to force it. Or it's just not only a mental game, it's mental along with physical. So first you set up that in that mental state, like what exactly do you want, how you're going to get it. So it's you working with your mind and defining and breaking down that goal with so much of clarity that it's kind of starts to show up. But then also there is some energetical aspect, is like when you have that clarity, then it's like, you're out there to buy Honda CRV white color. And the moment you define this 2007 model Honda CRV white color, then your mind starts to show you exactly the same car on the road every time you see, right? So that's how things work. And then there might be some person or some Craigslist ad or something will show up in your reality. Okay, this is selling, this is this. You'll start saving for it, so yeah. So it's a process. And once you learn to do that process couple of times, then you find a hack to it, and then you can try to apply it in more times. But there are things that in my life, things have worked out, like material things work out very easily, but there are emotional things that may take time, and there are reasons, and I know my own subconscious reason about things and situations that I'm trying to resolve or work on. So I think everything happens also in its own sweet time. So we are co-creators with the universe. We are creating, and then universe is creating, and that's the dance that we are in. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, we are co-creating with God, or so to say. Yeah. But let's not sway from the topic. But yeah, what is manifestation? So we have spoken about this, that there's a mind-matter connection, right? And we have spoken about that how we are in a field of energy, or in a field of a quantum field from where all the consciousness is connected, right? So quantum physics explains that all of our consciousness is connected to the quantum field. And all the physical matter in the universe arises from this non-physical quantum field. And this quantum field is not physical. So it cannot be perceived from our five senses. It's internal in your meditative states when you go there and when you define those things, right? In that realm. That's why it becomes easier in this realm. So when I want to like emphasize on this, that we are actually living in a vibrational universe, and our thoughts and our emotions and our words, all of these things affect and manifest our reality. So we have to be mindful of those. Yeah, so we live in a vibrational universe. This is how the electromagnetic field of our heart looks like. And this through this electromagnetic field, we are communicating with the quantum field. It's an invisible field, but when we are in joy, this electromagnetic field is big. When we are in stress or fear or anxiety, our electromagnetic field is smaller. So in the past, I don't know, I mentioned that our brains are electric. Our thoughts are produced by our brain and they're electric. So we are sending out signals by our thoughts into the universe, and our emotions, our hearts are magnetic, and we are attracting back that reality. So that's the vibrational, universe that we are living in. And what we are putting out is what we're attracting back, what we are, laying emphasis on. So we're creating a vibrational frequency that is going out, and all the things that are on that vibrational frequency are brought back into our reality, matching frequency. So we attract to us that match the vibrational frequency of our thoughts and emotions, right? We are electromagnetic beings, and we attract things, event, people to us that match the vibrational frequency of like where we are. So going from that, manifestation becomes easy when we are in elevated emotions, right? So this is the electromagnetic field is so wide and so big. And when we are in high elevated emotions, our frequency is high. So, and when we are in low emotions, our frequency is slow, very slow. And it takes time it takes time to manifest in that low state. So if I have to give an analogy, is like if you're running fast, you'll get there sooner rather than if you're running slow, you'll get there later, right? So that's why manifestation happens quickly when you're in that joy state, when you're operating from love, when you're happy state. Yeah. So also when we are stressed, when we are, so we are using up our energy when we are in that low state. We are giving away our energy to a lot of the whatever is keeping us low. So the goal should be, whenever we are in our low states, is like, what can I change? Like, what can I do that something will make me happy? So how to break that cycle of that low cycle. And I sometimes just go for a random haircut. Like when I'm low, I just want to get out, and it's because it will change my mindset. Or I'll just go for a jog, or I'll put some jhakas like Bollywood music, to pep me up. So yeah, so it's up to us to know like what fires us up, and how can we, when we are in that low state, change our frequency to maintain that elevated state. Yeah, so the key to effortless manifestation, or I would say faster manifestation, is feeling and maintaining those elevated emotions. I'll take a pause here. Any questions, comments? Okay, so law of attraction is like attracts like. So whatever frequency we are putting out is what we are attracting back. That's why they say that become what you want to manifest, like what you want to be, just become that, and you'll automatically go there. Yeah. So if you want to attract more love, give more love. If you want to attract more money, have that abundant mindset. If like we are always rich, but we are not able to see that richness around us, so have that abundant mindset even with whatever we have right now. Yeah, got it. Yeah, I love this quote from Albert Einstein, and a lot of these scientists have spoken so much about energy, law of attraction and how the universe works. So everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want to, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. So I really love this quote. And one thing I'll say is, in one of the I've shared my mystical journey in the group. And in one of the mystical journeys, what I understood was we're constantly shifting realities. So we're not manifesting something in this world. What I understood was we are constantly jumping realities. Like, let's say, by changing our own frequency. Let's say I want to, I don't know, I want to manifest love, right? And I don't have love in this reality. The more I become love, the more I give love, the more I operate from that energy, my frequency has changed. And I've shifted into the reality where people are loving around me, more nicer, more this thing, and automatically love comes in various ways, right? So in that previous reality where people were not very nice still exists, but now I have personally shifted into another. So we have like a lot of multiple parallel realities happening all the time along with us, and we're constantly shifting, like on a regular basis, 100 times in a day based on our frequencies. So I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I had a kind of an understanding of that concept. I'm like, that makes sense. It was like I was seeing mirror parallel realities, and we're kind of shifting into anywhere we want to just by changing our mindset slowly, incrementally. And there you, yeah. So hard concept to wrap our heads around, but anybody had a question? I think I interrupted somebody before.
Oh, not a question. Just one thing that I read in one of the books I thought I'll mention because it's very relatable with what you're saying. It's like a radio station. So when you're driving, you put radio station to say 93.7 FM, you're giving that frequency, and then those are the songs that get played. So if you want 93.7 and you're playing 101.3, whatever, then you will not get the songs from that station. So like every time I want to remember, it's a great analogy that I keep in mind to remember.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's a great analogy. I love that one. Yep. Cool. Moving on. So tips to get started on a journaling practice. First thing is make time in your routine. I know because if you don't have it, you may not, you may like find excuses. Yeah, I'll do it someday or sometime, but I highly recommend do it in the nighttime. Because in the nighttime, that's what I have been doing since past many years. And there are days I don't do it consistently. Like I'll do it for maybe 3 days in a week, and then I'll skip 2 days because weekend was super busy and I didn't get a chance. But I think maximum I would have skipped is like maybe 4 or 5 days, and then I go back. Or when I'm traveling, sometimes I don't take my journal when I'm traveling, or things like that. So yeah, but and once you develop, this is like creating a relationship with your own inner being. And once you get in touch with that inner being, it's so magical. It's like it's your best friend waiting there, and you're there to talk to that best friend about everything, and the best friend is there to give you solutions on everything. And sometimes automatic writing starts happening for me. It's like I'll pose a question, but why this, and answers will just come. And that's the answer from the more wiser self inside, that is in us, all of us, our higher self or inner being, or I don't know, the God self, or wherever we are connected to. So yeah, so I would highly recommend that you make some time, try to do it in the nighttime before you go to bed. Yeah, journal is your safe space for self-expression. So write freely and honestly. I also recommend that have one dedicated journal and one pen. Keep that pen and journal together. And there's also some energetic connection that you will create with your journal and that pen. And for a long time, I had like my journals for 10 years collected with me. And I one day sat down and brought all my journals down, and I was like reading through. Oh my God, I went through so much of things, and I am not able to connect with that person I was anymore. I'm not that person anymore. I've changed as a person. Whatever that person, my past personality 10 years back was feeling, I am not there anymore. I have elevated so much above that thing. So it's a kind of a good reflection. And oh my God, I want to manifest it. This thing, these are like a normal things for me now. So yeah, so it's good to reflect back. So have one dedicated journal. I take like my one journal takes like 6 months to finish, or yeah, so I'll every 6 months, and I buy for a journal. Like I like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, or Ross have nice journals, or sometimes I'll find it in Michael's as well. That excites me, that has good code, that has nice paper. So I go shopping for journals. Yeah, and also it's good to have one dedicated location. It should be comfy. I normally always do journaling on my bedside table. Bed is my favorite spot, but yeah, see what it is. I also like to light candle when I'm doing my journaling. I light a candle, put some nice background music, and then I'll do it, and my AirPods are on. And yeah, but make it your thing. Yeah. So what are the things that we can journal about? First is gratitude list. Every night when I start journaling, I just start with thank you. Thank you, universe, for today something happened. Thank you for, whatever happened that day. I start with that. Every morning when I wake up, I just give thanks. The first thing I open my eyes, I'm just in that state of just observing everything around me and just taking one deep breath and saying, another day, thank you for another day. That's it, nothing big, but just bringing that gratitude in our heart, it just sets a positive tone for the day. And then go through my day, or sometimes, like not these days, it's very busy for me. My dad is there and I don't get time to journal in the morning. But sometimes, like it's a weekend, it's lazy or something, I'll grab a journal and I'll write down things like my goals for this week or my to-do list for this week. And there's something magical that happens is like at the end of the week, I'll check that off. I was done, I've done. And it gives me a instant dopamine hit in my brain that I have achieved all my goals. Tick, tick, tick. So that's another thing. Yeah, and at the end of the day, reflect on the moments or experiences that you're grateful for. And I give thanks sometimes for a cloudy day. It was so beautiful. The sky was so beautiful. And not only the big things, but also the small things. Any appreciation I got from work, or maybe there was somebody who was struggling at work and I got a chance to help them. I really helping them made me feel better. So anything small, big, my kids gave me a hug, or some stranger gave me a smile that made my day. Like, yeah, it was a good uplift. So whatever. Um, Write them down, and think of the reasons why you're grateful for them. Like as you're writing down, like thank you for a good meal. It just, bring those emotions in, like why. And that's what it is, training the mind to think in the way of emotions and bringing those emotions. So gratitude will take you into that higher elevated emotions, because you're reliving those happy thoughts, happy things again in your mind. Yeah. So yeah, writing down helps reinforce the positive emotions and help elevate your frequency. And then when I'm writing my gratitude list, I'm not only writing thank you for all the good things, I'm also writing thank you for all the challenging or difficult situations I faced. And I start writing down or give them meaning. Yeah. Yeah, I love that you put pictures, Nicole. Yeah, that's so cool. My daughter does that. She'll add clips, she'll add tickets, show tickets, she'll add school pictures or anything. She'll create a whole like a scrapbook journal. But I am lazy. I just pen and paper person. So yeah, so when you're writing down your challenges, think of your challenges, like how can they be opportunities? And I write down that story. There was this challenge and it helped me look into this, it triggered this in me, or it made me feel this way. And then I sometimes sit with that emotion of whatever the challenge is bringing it up, and then I give it a lot of love. I just send it a lot of love to that emotion, that it's okay, it's here, I'll see how it unfolds, how it rolls. And yeah, so that's that. Cool. Another form of journaling that I do is affirmation journaling. So affirmations work on the subconscious level, influencing your deep-seated beliefs and programming. Through consistent repetition, affirmations bypass the conscious mind's resistance and directly impact the subconscious, helping to embed positive beliefs and intentions. Affirmations help counteract negative self-talk by providing alternative positive statements, by consciously choosing and mentally repeat positive statements in the present tense. So affirmations are all like, I am this. So the days I'm feeling low, or I'm not like insecure about something, I am secure, I am safe. That's my affirmation that I'll write down. And I'll start write down, I'm this, I'm perfect, I am I'm loved, I am loved. Or, so whatever I'm trying to manifest, sometimes I'll start writing down as I have already manifested that. So I am abundance, I am rich, I am freedom, I am, whatever it is for you. And that's what sometimes I do in the night. I give my gratitude, and then I start writing down if I feel like something is challenging, or sometimes I'm just feeling so grateful that I just go into the flow of it. So yeah, that's very, very, very cool too. And there are some times that there are some challenging situations that you might be going through. So also I try to like, if there's something challenging for me, I try to create what affirmation line in one sentence I can create for this challenging situation that is counteracting that, or what I want to manifest. And then I will write it down, and next day or throughout the day, that affirmation will be playing in my mind as a tape recorder, that, yeah, I'm this, I'm this, because I'm trying to train my subconscious that, nope, you're showing, like, my subconscious doesn't believe in that, but nope, I will, I will make it believe till I see it in my reality. So it may not be in my reality, but yeah. So I'll tell an instance, and it's a personal instance, but there was a time when I was in a very, like, my relationship with my husband wasn't super duper great at that time. And we were going through some tough times. And we were like triggering each other. And, and at that time I said, what can be my affirmation? And I said, Mohit is my best friend. That's my affirmation. He's my best friend. He's my best, this buddy. And next day, it would come, that situation would happen, and I would be about to get triggered or something instigate, and I would say, no, Mohit is my best friend. Externally, I might be behaving differently, or I'm trying to be, Mohit is my best friend. Internally, I was just chanting that chatter, that I will not believe in whatever my reality is showing. I know I'm creating this reality. And how magically that situation turns around, I cannot tell you. My energy changes, his energy changes, and suddenly he will act starting differently. And today he is my best friend, and he was even then, but we were just going through some tough times at that time in our relationship. But yeah, so yep. So try it out. Sometimes I don't feel confident at work. No, I am, whatever it is, you have to, what you want to manifest, and you can create that. Any questions so far on affirmations or gratitude? Cool. Okay, goal setting. Goal setting is very, very important. Like, in our mind, we say, oh, yeah, we know what we want to manifest, but my mind needs clarity. We think that we know what we want, right? But universe wants like 100% clarity, like, so yeah, goal setting is important, and SMART goals is something that we use in corporate a lot. So I'm sure everybody's familiar with it. That's the same funda that will apply to this. like, yeah, I want to manifest something. What exactly I want to manifest, why I want to manifest, what will how will I feel when I'm able to manifest, how long duration does it I want to manifest. I want it in 1 year, I want it in 10 years. um so specific, your goals should be well defined, detailed, and clear, measurable. You should be able to tell when you have reached the goal, like, this is how I will feel when I've manifested this, right? Achievable, can you reach the goal taking into account your available, yeah. So is this doable? So set up incremental goals towards that big goal. If it is not available right now, set up smaller goals to lead to you that goal. I'll probably, if you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to start a business, today I will do this, next day, in 3 months time, I'll research about this or something. Just set up some incremental goals for yourself. Is your goal realistically achievable within, yeah, again, it goes to that incrementally. And yeah, so set a start and finish date for your goal, that it may or may not happen in that exact same way, but your mind will get super duper clarity in terms of where you want to go and what you want to see, and by when you want to see, and it will start working in its magical ways. Okay. Another thing I use journaling is for visualization. And the prompt that I'll give you here is that you have already manifested what you wanted to wish for, right? If you're already in that future, so tap into that future, like how we do it in our meditation, right? We go into that future, we go into that timeline, we see ourselves, and then you write down all of that. What does that future feels like? How does that future looks like? What are the different aspects to that future? What are the people around you saying? How you're feeling? What are you looking like? Whatever it takes, write down as many details as possible around that future state. And then once you're done doing that, then you can also create positive, powerful present tense, like all of those things that you have seen in your future, whatever you're trying to manifest, then write it down. I am this, I am that, this is this. Like in my example, I said, I wanted to see manifest a future where my husband is my best friend. That's what I made my affirmation. Oh, it is my best friend, right? So, yeah, so it depends case to case what we're trying to manifest. Does it make sense? Right? And once you write down that future and that 4 lines of affirmations, every night before you go to bed, visualize yourself like you're living your dream future and go to sleep in that state. There's a very powerful book by Neville Goddard, and I've shared in the group, and some folks have read it. It's called Feeling is the Secret. It's a very 30-40 page, very small book, but it's so powerful. And in that book, he talks about how our whole reality is created by subconscious. And in the night, when we do this activity of just before going to sleep, visualizing whatever we take with ourselves in the sleep is what we're going to manifest next. So if we are going with a stress and this person did this and this and this and blah, 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 all the negative or all the work stress or this stress or that stress, we will see more of that in the next day. So take a break from all of that. Take your time to just be with yourself and write down. Once you have these powerful, positive, present tense affirmations, in the night, just visualize that. I'll give you an example. I do this for every time I plan a vacation or something. So in which year? Last year I went to Europe, 2022. In 2021, December, I was setting up goal settings for my 2022 year. And I wrote down Europe trip with family. And I wanted to do it with Mohit's family because we were planning for it. We were thinking about it. And I was like, okay, I want to do this with Mohit's family and what would it look like. And what are the things I want to do. And so I wrote down, the weather was beautiful, this was perfect, everything went well. We were all harmony with each other, and kids enjoyed, and all of that I wanted to write down. And then I created one scene that we are on top of that open bus in Paris and looking around the city and touring the city, the double-decker bus, right? And every night I would go to sleep I would see me, my husband, my whole family in my vision. We are on that bus, the air is blowing, we are laughing, we're taking pictures, the bus is going. And when I actually lived that situation just as is when we were last year, like my husband was telling me January started, February started. He said, no, it won't happen. No, we won't be able to go to Europe. This won't happen. We are not going. There is this important thing. I have to travel. And suddenly his work travel happened and he had to go to Sweden in June. And then he was like, my daughter had to go to Europe from school trip. And he was like, well, Ria will be there. I will be there. How about we plan you guys as well? And then you and Gianna can join us. And we'll ask China and her family, his brother is in UK and her sister is in India. Like, we'll ask them also to come. And I was like, zip up. I'm not saying anything. I was like, I don't know, it'll happen or not happen. We'll see. Um, and initially I got super excited. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And I was trying to coordinate with everybody. And I was like, this is so stressful. My sister-in-law's daughter would say, I want to go to Switzerland. And my daughter would say, I want to do Santorini or something else. And I was like, matching everybody's desire and creating a travel plan is heck difficult. So I said, oh, I'm not even wondering about it. It's my deal with the universe that I am going on this trip. I don't know how it'll happen. So I just gave up and I said, Mohit, if it won't happen, don't worry about it. And he took the lead. He created the whole itinerary. He created every plan. We are not into tours. So we did not take a tour. Like, we wanted to do things at our pace. So, and I was like, man, he did everything. Everything went our way. And we were there for 3 weeks. And it was just the best trip happened. And I've been doing this since whenever I cannot tell you. Like, once I wanted to go to Iceland, and all I said was, I am going to Iceland. How will it happen? I don't know, but Iceland looks like this. I'm looking at Aurora Boreals. I am this. I just defined it. Out of nowhere, my best friend reaches out to me and she said, Sarika, I want to plan an Iceland trip. I have no company. Can you come along? And can we do it? And I think in 2019, we did just the girl trip, Iceland, her and me. So it works like magic. Like, travel is now, like, I've understood how this works. So this is easy. Like, this year, my brother is coming next week with his whole family. I don't know if somebody was there in our New Year session. My brother joined and he said, this year, my goal is to go to US in May. And I was laughing at him like, oh, really? You want to do that? So, because I was thinking of going to India in July. So I was like, oh, he wants to come here. Okay. And he is coming here. So things happen, how it will happen, how it will align. That's not your job to do. Your job is to stay in that elevated emotions, visualize your future, provide that details, and feel and stay in that future state in your mind. Got it? And yeah, and I always give thank you for this perfect trip. Thank you for this. Thank you for this in advance. Like, it has already happened. I write down that whole story from that future state, like it has already happened in the past. Like, this happened, this happened, this happened. It was so good. It works like magic. Yeah. Go ahead. Anybody has to say something?
I was just saying that, yeah, I was there in that session when your brother joined.
Yeah. And he's coming here next week, Tuesday.
Yeah.
And we have a whole jam-packed, June-packed event. Yeah. Cool. All right. Journaling for emotional healing. I also use journaling for emotional. So basically, as I mentioned, diving into that emotional state. What do I write about is like, what are you experiencing right now? As is all that agitation, frustration, stress, blah, blah, blah. What is it? Just put it on that paper. Where are you feeling it in your body? I feel my throat is constricted, my heart is constricted, my back ache, my shoulder ache, wherever you're feeling. Why is it hurting you? Write it down. It hurts me because, you will see the mental offload happens when you put it down. It's like you have given all your worries to the future, to the God or to the universe. That's how I feel like when I do this. What are your fears? What is hurting you? My fears are, somebody will, if it is work, somebody will, like my work will not be acknowledged or whatever it is. I don't know. But be honest with yourself. Why is that situation so much of a priority to you? This is, I always ask for myself is, it is happening. It is this, but there are 10,000 other good things happening. Why are you stuck on this, Sarika? why is it such a priority to you? And I write down that, why is it priority to me? Because right now I can't get my mind off this. This is important. If this will be in harmony, then I can see this, or whatever it is. Like, at the end of the day, our goal is harmony and peace within, right? And we also want to create harmony and happiness for all those around us. Always, when something, it's our thoughts that something is not aligned, it's our struggle to do that. Or so, yeah. So write it down, break that whatever mental, emotional blockage that you're feeling, break it down as much as you can on that paper. What are your beliefs and assumptions around this situation? Can we challenge these beliefs? Are they really true? Yeah, like, my biggest belief was my husband is a workaholic. He doesn't care about me. He's all about his work. That's what I used to chatter inside my head 10,000 times a day. And then I said, when I started creating this, right, affirmation, no, he's my best friend. We are this, we are this, we're this. I started understanding that was my story. When I was rattling that story 10,000 times in my head, I was seeing in my reality like that. When I changed the story in my head, my reality outside me changed. So what are you saying, thinking is all creating your reality. So challenge your stories that we are playing in our heads and try to change that narrative. So imagine altering the situation or transforming a person's role in your life and create a new narrative that aligns with your desired outcome. Then think it like, okay, if the situation changes, what is that new outcome like? Write down that future. Another thing is I like to sometimes do is like recall a situation that didn't go well, and then I imagine a do-over. If the situation went well, what would have happened? How things would have gone? Okay, at that time I triggered and I reacted this. Okay, I would have taken it calmly, I would have spoken it nicely, and I would have done this, and I would be at much peace right now. So I bring that to that future from that do-over place, right? So my whole interaction inside my mind changed, and then I become, so I align myself with that timeline. Now I move myself from that, I shift myself from current agitated, or that situation didn't go over, and right now I'm here, but then in my mind I'll relive that situation, all went well, and then I move into that shift. Does it make sense? Yeah, so describe how interactions would unfold for the benefit of everyone involved. Reflect on how would you react differently and envision a positive outcome, and write about the emotions of this new outcome would invoke in you. And when you get into that emotional state of, yeah, this is, yeah, something shifts. Another favorite thing of mine is letter from the universe. Oh my God, I just love this. So as I said, like sometimes automatic writing starts happening when you start doing all of this very often. And this has happened with me a couple of times, is that when I'll be something going on in my head and I'm writing it down, suddenly some wise thing comes in and I start writing down, like, to my own self, like, why are you getting so much worried about? And I start addressing myself as a second person. Like, no, you don't need to think. You're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing the best that you can, and da 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 da. So, and sometimes I look back and sit back and I read, I said, I did not write this. I definitely did not write this. So, and now I've tried to consciously do that when I am in a difficult situation or something, that I start writing a letter from the universe. What would universe want to tell me? So try it out. I think, like, if universe is your best friend, if you're going to the Father, Creator, God, whoever, with all, who knows your each and every emotion, because God is living with you, your every emotion. So if that wise wisdom has to say us anything, what would that choose to say us? And yeah, sometimes my answers just come right to me, and yeah, that it's you thinking, or it's not the right time, or it depends upon your situation and your own inner conversation, but I'm just amazed always. Cool. Any questions? All right. Okay, let's go into one exercise. And I would ask everybody to grab your pen and paper. Okay. Actually, I can go to the next slide. So this is the exercise that we'll do. We will rate our life. So on first page, just write on the top present state. Just write present state. Write today's date. It's May 21st, 2023. And then make categories, like write health, first category is health, and then leave 3-4 lines or 2-3 lines, and then write love, 2-3 lines, family and friends, finances, career or business path, lifestyle, spiritual connection, and community service or service or giving back, anything like that. Okay, is everybody there? Do we have everything? Okay. Now, go ahead, Ritika.
Oh, I missed it. Can I quickly see it again?
Oh,
Can
yeah,
I, yeah, can you show one more
Yeah,
time?
yeah, of course, sorry. Oh, yeah, of course.
It took me time to get my diary.
Oh, no, no worries. You're cool. Yeah, I was like, I don't want people to be into reading into this. I want to talk through it and just take you into that. Let me know when everybody's done. Got it?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. Let's close our eyes. Let's take a couple of deep breaths in and center yourselves first. Deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. One last. Deep, deep, deep breath in and out. And center yourselves. Get connected with your heart. Okay. Now try to open your eyes. And each of the things that you've written down on a scale of 1 to 10, rate yourselves in your lives right now. You don't have to share this with anybody. This is for your own self. So honestly, truly, how much do you think where you are on a scale of 1 to 10? And what is lacking? If something is not up to the mark, what do you think is there? Like I wrote down my health 8 on 10. I have some knee pain and inactivity, which I'm not very happy about. To be 10 on 10, I would like an active lifestyle. Yeah, so whatever like that it is, take your time. I'll play some music so that you guys can listen to something. And let's do this in class, in here. And don't rush through, think through, and then write down. Ask your heart, what is it? Where do I want to be? What is lacking? What are the things I want to manifest? Or what are the things right now, not want to manifest? What are the things? Why am I not fully there yet? So we all have some rating for our present state. Good. Okay, now what I want you to do is, this is homework. So, or maybe you can do it after the session if you have time, or later on. So now you know where is your present state, and write your future state on next page, desired state. And write down a year or timeline, maybe at the end of the year, short term or long term. It's up to you to define that. Write that date on that. And then rate your future state from that future timeline perspective. And then write down everything in present tense. So, like I've given an example here on health, 10 on 10. And what does that 10 on 10 mean? If it is in different segments, what does that mean? Maybe, I'm love 7 on 10. Love here is 8 on 10 or 9 on 10. Maybe at the end of the year, it is 8 on 10. Maybe 2 years down the line, it's 10 on 10. Whatever that means to you, you're personally, write that down and write down that exact future manifested state. By what this timeline, what would you want to manifest? And what does it mean to you? Make sense? Okay. So this is your homework, and try it, do it. I highly recommend you do it. And for June challenge, I don't have any graphic here, but for June challenge, this is what we'll have, is that every night you take yourself, you sit with yourself, with your journal, and choose anything, emotional healing, visualization for future. If you have nothing, just affirmations. If you have nothing, just gratitude list, whatever it is that calls for you on that day, during that night, at that time. So it's up to you, what do you choose, but spend that some time with yourself writing that down. Some days I don't have any time, I'll just say thank you to universe for everything. That's it. But if you have more time, something flows, write more. So yeah, cultivate that habit of journaling every night before you sleep. The best thing to do is in the night when you go to sleep, what all you have written here, desired state, take this page, paste it on your journal, first page, and take the state, read it out in your heart, envision that future, live those emotions in your mind, and go to sleep with those feelings. That's the perfect thing to do. Sounds good? Awesome. With that, we are here at close. All right. Any questions, comments?
How long do you usually spend in a day journaling?
There's no set time. It's like everybody has gone to sleep. I'm about to hit the bed. I'll take my journal, sit down with it, and start writing before I go to sleep. Just write down a few things. If there are times when I'm challenged or something, then I would need my journal and at my own time. But yeah, then I would do it longer. But and sometimes it happens that I'm writing and I won't write so much gratitude, so much, or affirmation, and I'm so sleepy and drowsy, and sometimes I'll sleep with my journal in my hand, and then I'll realize, oh, I need to sleep. I'll close, I put it down, light off, and then I'll go to sleep. And so yeah, sometimes it's totally up to you. Make it your own. My goal is to share what has helped me in my journey, and this is your journey, so improvise it. Whatever calls to you. Yeah.
This is super helpful.
Wonderful. Yeah. Experiment with everything, because you never know what. But yeah, for me, journaling is magical. If there's only one thing I can say anybody to do, is I would say journal. Yeah. Okie doke. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarika.
Hey, thank you, Sarika.
Thank you very much.
It's a really beautiful session.